He found her scrubbing blood off linoleum that was already clean, her knuckles split worse than the floor. Garrett McCrae's truck rattled into the Sundown Motel parking lot at 3:47 a.m. because he couldn't stand his own bedroom anymore. 8 years, same insomnia, same reasons. Light bled from room 11's window. Movement inside. He cut the engine. Walked closer through heat that hadn't quit since noon. 89 degrees at damn near 4 in the morning. Through a gap in the curtain, a woman on her hands and knees. White dish towel gripped and tight, scrubbing the bathroom floor. Water bucket beside her, pink-brown from old blood or rust or both. The linoleum spotless already, reflection clean, but her arm kept moving. Scrub, rinse, scrub, rinse. Circle after circle after circle, her knuckles raw, split, bleeding fresh into the towel. She was whispering something. He couldn't hear what. He stepped to the door, raised his hand to knock, froze. His fist hung there, 3 inches from the wood. Wouldn't move forward, wouldn't drop, just suspended. Inside, she kept scrubbing. Outside, he stood like stone. Not again. Jesus Christ, not again. His hand trembled in the empty air between wanting to help and remembering what happened the last time he moved too slow. When he finally knocked, it wasn't to save her. It was because he couldn't stand freezing again. He forced his fist forward. Knuckles hit wood. 3 solid raps. Her scrubbing stopped. Go away. Her voice sharp through the door. Not scared, just done. Ma'am, he stopped. Didn't know what he was. A rancher, a widower, a man who let people die while he finished what he was doing. The door opened anyway. She stood there hollow-eyed, defensive. Oversized flannel shirt, jeans with bleach stains, hair pulled back so tight it looked like it hurt. Her hands behind her back, hiding. He took off his hat. Weathered face, silver at the temples. Genuine concern mixed with something else. Fear, maybe. I said go away. Yes, ma'am. Just, you're hurt. She laughed. Bitter sound, no humor in it. You think? They stood in the doorway, neither moving. She swayed, just slightly. Exhaustion, or pills wearing off, or both. He reached to steady her. She flinched, violent. Whole body recoiled like he'd swung at her. He stopped, hands up, backed 3 steps away. I won't. He shook his head. I'm sorry. She stared at him, trying to read the angle, trying to find the lie. Couldn't find it. She closed the door. He walked back to the curb. Sat down on the concrete, legs stretched out, boots in the gutter, visible from her window if she looked. Inside, she watched through the curtain. Didn't understand why he was staying. Dawn came slow. Sky shifting purple to pink to orange. Layers of color like bruises healing in reverse. Heat already building at 5:30 a.m. Rose's cafe lights turned on across the street. 600 a.m. Sharp, same as always. He stood, walked to his truck. She thought, good, finally. He pulled a white first aid kit from the truck bed, dirty but intact. Set it on her doorstep. Walked back to the curb. Sat down again. She opened the door, looked at the kit, looked at him. What do you want? Nothing, ma'am. Bullshit. Long pause. Highway truck passing, neon sign humming, heat rising off asphalt. I got time. You need help. I'm here. You don't. I'll leave when you say. She stared at him. 30 seconds. 45. Looking for the hook, the price, the thing he'd want later. Still couldn't find it. She took the kit inside, left the door open. Not an invitation. A test. He entered slow, stayed near the door, didn't sit, didn't touch anything. She set the kit on the small table, opened it. Antiseptic, gauze, tape. Started bandaging her own hands. Wouldn't let him close enough to help. He noticed. Bathroom still wet. Bucket of pink water on the floor. The white towel draped over the sink edge. Rust-brown stains like continents on a map. Didn't ask about it. She noticed. He wasn't asking. You always rescue strangers at 4 in the morning? No, ma'am. So why me? Long pause. He looked at his boots, at the wall, at anything but her. Reckon I needed to. She stopped wrapping gauze. Looked at him different, really looked. He's broken too. The realization hit quiet, not dramatic, just there. Sun fully up now, 7:15 a.m. Temperature climbing past 90. He stood. I should go. What's your name? Garrett McCrae, ma'am. Running M, 8 miles out. She didn't give hers. You need anything? I know, you got time. He left. Truck rattled out of the parking lot, broken muffler loud in the morning quiet. She watched until dust settled on the road, then looked at her hands, bandaged, clean. Someone had helped without asking for a single thing in return. She didn't know what to do with that. He came back the next morning with groceries, and she didn't send him away, which scared her more than the assault ever did. Day 2, 8 a.m. Her night shift just ended. His truck pulled into the lot. She watched from the window, coffee mug in hand, no coffee in it, just holding something warm. He got out, opened the truck bed, lifted a brown paper bag, set it on her doorstep, got back in the truck. Drove away before she opened the door. The bag sat there. She stared at it for 2 minutes. Could be anything. Could be nothing good. She opened the door. Inside, bread, eggs, orange juice, bandages, and on top, folded neat, a dish towel. Blue gingham, new, soft cotton, still had the store crease. She picked it up, held it, looked back at the bathroom where the old white one hung on the sink hook, stained and falling apart. Couldn't throw the old one away yet. Couldn't use the new one yet. She put it in the dresser drawer, closed it, preserved like a museum piece she wasn't allowed to touch. Day 3. Pattern shifted. He knocked this time. Progress. She opened the door. Also progress. Cafe's got good coffee, if you want. I don't need. I know, offering anyway. She stood there. Flannel shirt, same jeans, hair still pulled back tight. Looked at him. At the cafe across the street. At the empty parking lot between. I look like hell. You look tired. Almost smiled. Caught herself. Give me 5 minutes. She changed shirts. Same flannel, cleaner. Brushed her hair, but pulled it back again anyway. Stepped outside. First time leaving the motel property in 6 days. They walked to Rosa's. 40 yards. Felt like a mile. The cafe bell chimed. Rosa looked up from wiping the counter, raised one eyebrow at Garrett. Silent question. Nodded at Grace. Silent welcome. Morning rush over. 3 old men at the corner booth reading newspapers. 1 woman at the counter doing a crossword, otherwise empty. Coffee? Black, Garrett said. Black, Grace said, same time. Rosa almost smiled. Of course you are. She poured. Slid 2 white ceramic mugs across the counter. Went back to the kitchen. Came out 2 minutes later with plates, eggs, toast, hash browns. Set one in front of Grace. I didn't order. Everybody's got to eat, mija. You eat. Grace stared at the plate. Hadn't had appetite in months. Food tasted like cardboard, like guilt, like nothing. Rosa stood there, arms crossed, Mother Hawk watching. Grace picked up the fork, ate. Garrett ate in silence. Comfortable with quiet, didn't try to fill it with questions or small talk or anything that would make her feel like she owed conversation. She reached for the sugar. He pushed it closer. Didn't ask, just noticed. Small thing, huge thing. She added sugar, stirred, took a sip. First decent coffee in a week. Heat's supposed to break Friday. I'll believe it when I see it. Pause, chewing, swallowing, breathing. You working nights? Yeah, motel cleaning, sundown. Hard work. I'm good at hard work. He heard the double meaning. I'm good at punishing myself. Didn't push. 9:15 a.m. The bell chimed. Sheriff Pritchard walked in. Atmosphere changed. Rosa's shoulders tensed. Garrett straightened on his stool. The old men in the booth went quiet. Sheriff scanned the room. Pressed uniform, mirror shine boots, American flag pin, gut hanging over his belt. Smile that didn't reach his eyes. He landed on Grace. Walked over, boots heavy on linoleum, deliberate. Morning, Garrett. Sheriff. Don't believe I've met your friend. Grace stared at her coffee. Silent. Just having breakfast, Garrett said. I can see that. Beat. You staying at the sundown, miss? Grace nodded. How long you planning on staying in Redemption? Don't know yet. Well, he smiled. Threat wrapped in courtesy. Hope you enjoy your visit. Small town. Everybody knows everybody. He walked to the register. Paid Rosa. Left no tip. Exited. The bell chimed. Silence after. He always like that? Pretty much. Rosa brought more coffee. Free refill, unasked. Set the pot down harder than necessary. Don't mind him, mija. He's all bark. Grace didn't believe it. Garrett set his mug down. Careful. You don't have to stay here. Motel, I mean. Grace looked at him. I got a... He stopped himself. Got a what? Guest room, at the ranch. Empty, just sitting there. She laughed. Defensive reflex. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. No, ma'am. I didn't mean... I know what you didn't mean. She stood, pulled $2 from her pocket, dropped them on the counter. I can walk. It's 8 miles. I meant back to the motel. I know. I'll drive you anyway. Truck cab. Silence. The rattle of his old F-150 louder than conversation. Heat through the windows, even with them down. Smell of hay and leather and engine oil. He drove slow. 25 in a 35 zone. Like he didn't want to get there too fast. Pulled into the sundown lot. Parked. She didn't get out. Long pause. Truck idling. AC didn't work, so the heat just sat there between them. Why are you doing this? He looked at the steering wheel. Hands at 10 and 2, knuckles white. I got my reasons. That's not an answer. It's the one I got. She reached for the door handle. Stopped. Thanks. For breakfast. Yes, ma'am. She got out, closed the door. Stopped at the motel room entrance. Looked back. He was still sitting there. Engine running. Watching to make sure she got inside safe, she went in, door closed. He sat in the truck for 5 more minutes, then drove away. Inside, Grace stood at the sink, looked at the 2 towels in her life. The old white one, blood-stained, threadbare, falling apart. Her shame, her ritual, her proof that she deserved this. The new blue one, still in the drawer, folded, untouched. His kindness, his offer, his belief she could be clean again. She couldn't reconcile them, couldn't throw one away, couldn't use the other, so she left them both where they were. Old one on the hook, new one hidden, and went to lie down on a bed she'd barely slept in for 6 months. Closed her eyes, didn't sleep, just existed, breathing in, breathing out, hands healing under the bandages, heart still bleeding where nobody could see. Across town, Garrett drove home, ranch house, 8 miles out. Tin roof, wraparound porch, broken slats, empty guest room with a bed that nobody slept in. Elena's photo still face down on the dresser, doors still closed. He sat on the porch, pulled the lighter from his pocket, flicked it, watched the flame, didn't smoke, never did anymore. Just held the fire, watched it burn, closed it, flicked it again, control. The one thing he could start and stop at will. Everything else, Elena's death, Grace's pain, his own guilt, those things had their own timeline. Couldn't rush them, couldn't stop them. But this little flame, this he could manage. Flick, burn, close. Repeat? She found him on her motel steps at midnight, lighter flicking on and off, not smoking, just watching the flame like it owed him something. Grace couldn't sleep, as usual. Had managed, maybe 90 minutes around 10 p.m., then woke up gasping from a dream she couldn't remember and didn't want to. Midnight. She gave up. Put on jeans, kept the sleep shirt, walked barefoot out to the motel steps to sit in air that was finally under 90 degrees. His truck sat in the parking lot. She hadn't heard it arrive. He sat on the curb, back to her. Click. Flame. Watch. Click closed. Click. Flame. Watch. Click closed. Rhythm to it. Ritual. Comfort in repetition. She watched for 2 minutes. He never turned around, just kept his meditation with fire. She walked over, bare feet on asphalt, still warm from the day's heat. You gonna smoke that? He startled, almost dropped the lighter, caught it. No, ma'am. So why? Helps me think. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Almost smiled. Corner of his mouth lifted, disappeared. Reckon it is. She sat beside him, 3 feet of space between them, compromised distance. They sat. 30 seconds, highway sounds. Neon sundown sign buzzing, one cricket somewhere optimistic. Can't sleep either? Not much. Not for a while. How long's a while? 8 years, give or take. She looked at him different, recognized it. The club, the trauma club, the can't sleep, can't eat, can't be normal club that nobody wants to join. What happened 8 years ago? He closed the lighter, held it in his fist. Thumb rubbing the metal surface. Lost someone. She waited. My wife, Elena. The name landed soft, said with care, like it still hurt to speak out loud. Grace didn't fill the silence. She'd learned. When someone offers pain, you don't rush them through it. Wasn't there when she needed me. Sharp intake of breath from Grace. That hit her wound direct. She called. I was outside. Figured. He stopped. Started again. She could wait 2 minutes. Had a fence post coming loose, storm rolling in, needed to secure it before. He shook his head. 2 minutes. What happened? Aneurysm, ruptured something in her brain, bled out internal. By the time I got inside, he looked at his hands. She was already gone, calling my name, and I was outside, finishing the fence. Long silence. Truck passed on the highway. Someone's life going somewhere at midnight. Cricket stopped. You can't blame yourself for 2 minutes. He looked at her, really looked. Can I? She had no answer to that. What happened to you? She froze, jaw locked, shoulders went rigid. You don't have to. You're right. I don't. Silence. Tenser now. She could leave. Should leave. He wouldn't follow. But something in her, maybe the part that was tired of carrying it alone, something spoke anyway. 6 months ago, Tucson, someone I trusted. He nodded once, didn't ask for details, didn't need them. Pressed charges, didn't stick. His word against mine. Bitter laugh, no humor. Guess his word was better. I don't believe that. Doesn't matter what you believe. No, ma'am, but I believe you. She stopped breathing. 3 words. Simple. Massive. Nobody had said that. Not the cops. Not the prosecutor. Not the judge. Not her friends who'd slowly stopped calling. Nobody. I believe you. She stood. Fast. Overwhelmed. I'm tired. Yes, ma'am. She walked to her door. Hand on the knob. Stopped. Didn't turn around. Thank you for saying that. Went inside before he could respond. Next morning, pattern now. 8 o'clock a.m., 2 cups of coffee, motel steps, their spot. He brought them in a thermos. She'd started keeping mugs by the door. Didn't talk much. Just existed near each other, comfortable now in the silence. Rosa watched from the cafe window, smiled, worried. Week passed in fragments. He taught her to change a tire. She insisted. Wouldn't be helpless. Wouldn't depend. She noticed. His hands shook slightly when they came close to hers. Reached toward her to show her the tire iron grip. Stopped himself, stepped back. Talked her through it instead. Both flinching, both broken by touch. They drove Desert Road 9. Nowhere specific, just driving. Windows down, heat and dust and radio static between stations. He talked about the ranch. Elena, the drought killing everything slow. She talked about teaching. Past tense. Kids she'd loved. Life before it became before. You miss it? Every day. Could teach again, somewhere else. Nobody hires the teacher who accused the football coach. Even if charges got dismissed. Especially because they got dismissed. He said nothing. Grip tightened on the steering wheel. They drove. In his truck one afternoon, she saw the photo. Visor sleeve. Elena. Beautiful. Dark hair, bright smile, alive. She's beautiful. He flipped the visor up, photo hidden. Yeah. I'm not trying to... I know. Sheriff drove by twice during their morning coffee. Slow, watching, taking notes, or just memorizing. Hard to tell which. He's going to cause problems. Let him try. You don't know what problems look like. I got some idea. She looked at him. Why are you risking this? Your reputation, your... My what? I'm nobody. Got no reputation left to lose. That's not true. Close enough. Evening. She walked him to his truck. Week and a half now of this pattern. Careful orbit around each other. Getting closer without touching. They stood by the driver's door. Sunset making everything purple and gold. Heat finally breaking, down to 85. She leaned against the truck bed. He stood near the door. Hands on the metal rim between them. Not touching, but close. Both noticed. Neither pulled away immediate. I'm leaving soon. You know that, right? Where you going? Don't know yet. Somewhere else. You don't have to. I do. People like me, we don't get to stay. Why not? She looked at him, really looked. Sunset in his eyes. Crow's feet from squinting at sun and grief. Good man. Broken man. Same thing maybe. Because staying means being seen, and being seen means, what? Being real. And I don't know if I can be real anymore. He didn't argue, didn't try to convince her, just nodded. If you change your mind, I know, you got time. She pushed off the truck, started walking away. Stopped, looked back. Garrett? First time she'd said his name out loud. Yeah? I'm glad you knocked. That first morning. Me too. She went inside. He watched until her light turned on, got in his truck, lighter in his hand, looked at it, didn't flick it, set it on the passenger seat, drove home. Maybe he didn't need to control fire tonight. Maybe sitting with uncertainty was okay. Maybe... He picked it up at a red light, flicked it, watched the flame. Old habits die slow. The whole town saw them together at the parade, and by sunset, somebody made sure Grace knew exactly what Garrett had done to his wife. Labor Day weekend. Temperature back to 114. Heat waves last stand before fall. Small town America doing what it does. American flags everywhere, high school marching band playing off-key, fire trucks rolling slow with candy thrown from windows. Main Street blocked off, whole county showed up. Garrett asked if she wanted to go. She said no, then changed her mind at the last minute. Progress. Terror. Same thing. They stood on the sidewalk near Rose's, not touching, not holding hands, just together. People noticed. Whispers, looks, nudges. Clara Peterson leaning to Judith Moore. Tom Hansen watching from across the street, telling something to his wife who looked over, frowned. Rosa waved from the cafe float, red, white, and blue streamers. Coffee pot painted silver, smiled big at Grace, genuine welcome. Sheriff Pritchard stood across the street in full uniform, mirrored sunglasses, clipboard, taking notes, or making a show of it, watching. Grace felt his stare like heat on her neck. We should go. It's almost over. That's not what I mean. The parade ended. Band marching off, crowd dispersing. She went to work, night shift starting at 3 p.m. He went home, normal, fine, everything fine. 9:30 p.m. Grace finished cleaning room 7. Meth heads had been there, left it destroyed. Took her an extra hour. Vince, the motel manager, caught her in the parking lot. 60-something, gut hanging over his belt, greasy comb-over, t-shirt with pit stains. He managed the place like he resented every person who stayed there. Need to talk to you. I'm working. About that cowboy you've been seeing. She stopped, bucket in hand, cleaning supplies rattling. What about him? You know how his wife died? Cold feeling. Spread from gut to chest to throat. Cancer. That what he told you? Silence. Vince smiled. Ugly thing. She bled out, in their bedroom. Calling for him, he was outside, didn't come. Let that sit. Some say he let her die, on purpose. Insurance money, or maybe he just wanted out. That's not... Ask around, everybody knows. Sheriff looked into it, couldn't prove nothing, but... Shrugged. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Or in his case, where there's smoke, there's a man who don't rush when his wife's dying. He walked away, left her standing there, bucket handle cutting into her palm. Room 11. She sat on the bed, replayed everything, his hesitation, his guilt. I wasn't there when she needed me. The way he froze at her door that first night. Paralyzed. The careful distance he kept, never pushing, always waiting. He let someone die. He froze. Just like with me, stood outside my door, hand in the air, couldn't move. What if he's doing this to feel better about letting her die? What if I'm his fucking redemption? Project? Anger built. Not at what happened to Elena. At being used. At being someone's path back to feeling human. She wasn't a person to him. She was penance. His truck pulled in at 9:45. Earlier than usual. He'd sensed something wrong, drove in from the ranch, knocked. She opened the door. Face hard. Closed. All the softness from the past 2 weeks gone. You okay? Did you let your wife die? He froze. There it was again. The paralysis. The stone body. The moment where his system shut down and left him trapped inside himself. What? Your wife, Elena. Did you let her bleed out while you finished your fence? Staggered back like she'd hit him. Who told you? Doesn't matter. Is it true? Long pause. Highway sounds. Neon buzz. His breathing harsh. He couldn't lie. Wouldn't. Yes. Get out. It wasn't... I didn't know she was... You said 2 minutes. You chose a fence over her life. I didn't know. And now what? You saved me? You're redeemed. You get to feel like a good man again. Hit him like a bullet. Because it was partly true. He staggered. No, that ain't... That's exactly it. I'm your fucking charity case. Your shot at heaven. Grace, don't. Just don't. She went inside, slammed the door. He stood there, hand reaching towards the door. Frozen again. Always fucking frozen when it mattered. Dropped his hand. Walked to his truck. Inside, Grace went to the bathroom, looked at the 2 towels. The old white one on the hook, blood-stained. Falling apart. Her shame. The new blue one in the drawer. His gift. His manipulation. His way of feeling good about himself. She pulled out the blue towel, held it. All that hope. All that possibility. All that bullshit. Walked outside, threw it in the dumpster, went back in, took the old white towel off the hook. Held it. Blood and rust. And 6 months of scrubbing her own skin raw. This one she kept. This one was hers, her punishment, her truth, her choice. Nobody got to take this from her. Not him, not his guilt, not his redemption story. If she was going to be dirty, she'd own it. She'd carry it. She'd scrub with it until her hands bled clean through. She sat on the bathroom floor, same spot as the first night, started scrubbing, hands bleeding again almost immediately, scabs she'd grown, ripped open, new blood mixing with old stains on white cotton. Outside, his truck engine started. Soft sound, familiar, comfort sound. Driving away, she scrubbed harder. The floor was already clean, had been clean for days. Didn't matter. She scrubbed until her hands shook, until tears came, until she couldn't tell what was water and what was blood, and what was 6 months of everything breaking. Inside her with nowhere to go. When she finally stopped, it was 2 a.m. The towel was ruined. Her hands were destroyed. The floor was spotless. She was exactly where she'd started, and he was gone. He kept driving past the motel, slowing down, never stopping, and she kept not leaving town, which hurt worse than if she had. 2 weeks passed. Grace's life without him looked like this. Work, sleep, scrub, repeat. Hands bleeding again. Worse than before. Bandages soaked through by end of shift. Changed them 3 times a day. Motel manager complained about blood on the cleaning rags. Old white towel falling apart. Threads loose. Holes forming. She wouldn't replace it. Lost weight. Hollow-eyed. Appetite gone. Rosa brought food twice. Left it on the doorstep in Tupperware, with notes in Spanish Grace couldn't read, but understood anyway. Eat, please eat, she tried. Managed 3 bites of beans and rice before her stomach clenched. Threw it away, felt guilty, ate nothing else that day. The motel manager started giving her looks. You doing okay? I'm fine. You look like hell. I said I'm fine. He stopped asking. Garrett's life without her looked like this. Ranch falling apart more, fence posts rotted through. Hadn't checked the cattle in a week. Didn't care. Let them wander where they wanted. Couldn't sleep. Maybe an hour a night. Sat on the porch with the lighter. Flick, watch, close. Flick, watch, close. Ritual taken to obsession. Did it until his thumb hurt. Did it some more. Drove into town every day. 800 a.m. Slowed at the Sundown Motel. Never stopped. Saw her light on. Saw her shadow move past the curtain once. Kept driving. Sat in Rosa's. Coffee black. Didn't order food. Rosa set a plate down anyway. You gonna talk to her? She don't want to see me. You sure about that? Pretty sure. Pretty sure isn't sure. He didn't answer. Didn't eat. Left money on the counter. 20 for a $3 coffee. Garrett. He was already gone. They were both dying. Different rooms. Same disease. Week 3. Sheriff escalated. Pulled Grace over on Main Street. She was walking. Didn't have a car. He pulled his Crown Vic to the curb anyway. Got out. Approached. Need to see some ID. I'm walking. ID. Now. She showed it. Arizona license. Tucson address. Her old life in laminated plastic. This address current? No. Where are you staying? Sundown. Room 11. How long? As long as I want. He smiled. Slow. Ugly. That includes sleeping with local ranchers? Her jaw locked. Silent rage building. Garrett McCrae's a good man. Went through hell when his wife died. Don't need you dragging him through more. I'm not. Sure you're not. Girls like you never are. He leaned in. Close enough she could smell coffee and aftershave and power. I know your type. Show up, cause trouble, take what you can get, move on. You don't know anything about me. I know enough. I know you didn't leave Tucson by choice. I know there's a case file with your name on it. I know charges got dismissed. I know what that usually means. Her hands shook, fists clenched. Fuck you. He smiled wider. Careful, that's disrespecting an officer. Could write you up for that. Or, he paused, let it hang. You could make things easier on everyone and just leave. Nothing here for you anyway. He got back in his car, drove off slow, made sure she watched him go. She stood on the sidewalk, shaking, tears starting, walked back to the motel, got to room 11, envelope under the door, picked it up, opened it, eviction notice, 48 hours, signed by Vince the manager, sheriff's suggestion probably. Probably nothing official about it. But what could she do? Call a lawyer? With what money? Fight it how? She read it 3 times, then sat on the bathroom floor. This time she didn't scrub. Too broken even for that. Just sat, holding the old white towel, bleeding hands staining it more. Adding today's blood to 6 months of accumulated shame. Thought, I should have fought harder. I should have fought back. I should have been stronger, braver, louder, more. Thought, I'm gonna die here. This motel room, nobody will even notice. The pills sat on the sink edge, Vicodin. Prescription from the ER after it happened. For pain. Which pain they meant, she wasn't sure. Had been rationing them, saving them. Not for pain, for the end. She looked at them now. 10 left. Maybe enough. Probably enough. Thought, it would be easy. Just go to sleep. Stop scrubbing. Stop bleeding. Stop being. Reached for the bottle. Phone rang. Motel phone. Ancient beige rotary on the nightstand. Loud as a fire alarm. She didn't answer. 6 rings. Stopped. Silence. Rang again. Someone persistent. She picked up the receiver, said nothing, just held it. Mija, I know you're there. Don't hang up. Rose's voice. Grace stayed silent. I'm coming over. You don't have to talk. Just don't do anything until I get there. Por favor. Click. Grace stared at the pills, at the towel, at the phone receiver still in her hand, waited. Rosa arrived in 5 minutes. Must have been close already, worried already. Let herself in with the manager's key. Probably threatened Vince. Probably promised him hell if he didn't give it to her. Found Grace on the bathroom floor. Didn't speak. Just sat down beside her on the cold tile, back against the tub. Both of them on the floor, like kids hiding from the world. Long silence. 60 seconds, maybe more. Just breathing together. You want to tell me what happened? Grace shook her head. Okay, we sit then. More silence. Grace's voice came out whisper quiet. I didn't fight back enough. What? Louder. Broken. When it happened, I should have fought harder. Claude screamed, broken something, but I just froze, like my body wasn't mine anymore. Rosa moved closer. And everybody, the cops, the lawyers, the judge, everybody asked, did you fight back? Did you scream? Did you run? And I couldn't say yes. So they decided I must have wanted it. Oh, Mia. And the worst part? Grace looked at her, eyes red, face wet. I started believing them, like maybe if I'd just been stronger, braver, more. Stop. I can't. Because what if they're right? What if I... You survived. That's what you did. You survived. Grace broke. 6 months of tears, 6 months of holding it in, scrubbing it down, bleeding it out. All of it came up at once. Rosa held her, maternal, safe. Let her cry into her shoulder, didn't shush her, didn't tell her it was okay, just held her while she shook apart. When the sobs slowed, Rosa spoke quiet. Garrett didn't let his wife die, you know. Grace looked up. I was there, that day. Brought them dinner. Elena had been sick. I was helping out. She had an aneurysm. Blood vessel in her brain just burst. Doctor told us later. Even if Garrett had been standing right next to her, she wouldn't have made it. Nothing anyone could do. Brainstem, gone in seconds. Grace processing, slow. But he blames himself anyway. Same way you blame yourself, for things that weren't your fault. For surviving, when you think you should have done something different. He thinks he killed her by taking 2 minutes to finish a fence. You think you got raped because you didn't fight hard enough. Rosa's voice firm, not cruel, just true. Both of you wrong. Both of you carrying guilt that don't belong to you. Then whose fault is it? The aneurysms? The man who hurt you? The systems that didn't believe you? The sheriff who wants you gone because you make him uncomfortable? Rosa took Grace's hands, bleeding, bandaged, destroyed. But not yours, never yours. Grace stared at their hands. I don't know how to stop believing it. You don't have to know how. You just have to be willing to try. Rosa helped her pack. Grace couldn't stay at the Sundown. Not safe. Not with the eviction and the sheriff's attention. You come stay with me, above the cafe. Small room, but it's yours. I can't. You can, and you will. No arguments. Grace nodded. Too tired to fight, too broken to refuse help anymore. They left the motel. Grace took almost nothing. One bag, some clothes, the bandages. Left room 11 behind. Camera lingered on the bathroom, empty now, cleaned out. White towel left on the floor where she'd finally dropped it. She'd left the shame behind. Didn't know it yet, but she had. She lived above the cafe now, and every morning at dawn, she watched his truck drive past, slowing, never stopping, like a prayer with no answer. Grace's new life fit in one room above Rosa's cafe, mattress on the floor, small window overlooking Main Street, sink in the corner, bathroom down the hall, shared with Rosa's storage closet. Felt like a college dorm. Felt like starting over. Felt like the first place in 6 months that didn't smell like shame. Her routine, 5:30 a.m., woke without alarm, insomnia permanent now, part of her DNA. Sat at the window with coffee Rosa left outside her door in a thermos. Watched sunrise paint the desert pink and orange and purple, 6:15 a.m. His truck appeared. Every day. Exact time. Old Ford F-150, recognizable rattle, broken muffler announcing him 3 blocks away. Drove down Main Street, slowed near the cafe. She watched from the window, silhouette visible if she stood close to the glass. He saw the light in her window, knew she was there. Neither waved, neither stopped. He drove on, disappeared toward the ranch road. She went back to bed. Couldn't sleep, just lay there, stared at ceiling, listened to Rosa moving around downstairs. Prep work for breakfast rush, tried to sleep anyway, failed. Days looked like this. Rosa gave her work, didn't ask, just handed her an apron first morning and said, "You know how to wait tables?" "I can learn." "Good. You start now." Waitress, dishwasher, whatever needed doing, swept floors, cleaned the grill, refilled napkin holders, mindless work, physical work, work that didn't require thinking about anything except customer wants coffee, customer wants check, customer finished, clear the table. Regulars were kind. Old men who came for breakfast every day, Harry, Pete, Jim, nodded at her. "Morning, miss." Left decent tips. Didn't ask questions. Some avoided her. Clara Peterson wouldn't sit in her section. Tom Hansen's wife looked at her like she carried disease. They still came to Rosa's, only restaurant in town, but they made sure Grace knew they noticed her. Judged her. Found her wanting. She served them anyway. Smiled. More coffee? Took their money. Survived. Sheriff came in once. Thursday, 11 a.m. Between rushes. Cafe mostly empty. Sat at the counter. She poured his coffee without being asked. "Thank you." "Anything else?" "That'll do." She walked away. Hands didn't shake. Small victory. He drank slow, read a newspaper, left a 20 for a $3 coffee. 20% to tip, exact, colder than leaving nothing. He was showing her, I can be polite. I can follow social rules. I'm not the bad guy here. She cleared his cup after he left. Wanted to throw it away, break it, something, set it in the dish rack instead, washed it, put it back with the others. Survived. Physical healing showed in small ways, hands healing, scabs fading, no new wounds. She washed dishes, cleaned tables, touched things without reopening cuts. Progress measured in skin regenerating, Eating, appetite returning, not much. But Rosa's breakfast burritos tasted like something again. Eggs had flavor. Coffee had warmth beyond temperature. Sleeping. 3 hours a night now, sometimes 4. Improvement from 0. Didn't scrub anymore. No compulsion, no ritual. The urge had left with room 11, with the white towel, with the version of herself that believed she deserved pain. But still broken inside, still alone, still stuck. The wound had closed on the surface. Infection still there. Deep. Late September. Temperature dropped. First cool night in 4 months. 62 degrees at midnight. Grace sat on the fire escape outside her window. Metal grating cold under her legs, blanket around shoulders. Stars clearer than she'd ever seen them. Desert sky at night. No light pollution, no clouds. Just universe on display. She thought about Garrett. He's out there, 8 miles, same stars. He thinks he let Elena die. I think I let myself get... Couldn't finish the thought. Never could. Rosa said it wasn't his fault. Said the doctors confirmed it. Aneurysm. Instant. Nothing anyone could do, but he doesn't believe that. Same way, I don't believe I fought enough. We're both guilty of surviving. The words sat heavy. Guilty of surviving. Like living itself was the crime. Like still breathing meant they'd failed some test. She thought about Sheriff Pritchard. He wants me gone. Still does. Why? Because I'm proof that his justice is bullshit. Because if he believes me, he has to question every case he's ever buried. Every he said, she said, he dismissed. Every woman he didn't believe because it was easier not to. Rosa mentioned his daughter, ran away, left a note about Uncle Ron, he burned it, chose comfort over truth. I'm the truth he doesn't want to face. Easier if I'm a liar, easier if I leave. She thought about staying versus leaving. I came here to disappear. Mission accomplished. I don't exist anymore. Grace Holloway, elementary school teacher, dead. Replaced by Grace Nobody, waitress, ghost. But Rosa sees me, Garrett saw me, past tense, because I pushed him away. The fire escape rail was cold. She gripped it, felt metal bite into palms. If I leave now, they win. The sheriff, the town, him, all of them back in Tucson. All of them who said I wanted it. If I stay, I have to keep being seen, keep being real, keep being alive. Which is scarier? Silence. Just wind, distant coyote, truck on the highway. What am I actually guilty of? The question formed slow, careful. Like approaching a wound to check if it's healed. Not fighting back? No, I survived. That was the fight. Rose is right. Surviving is fighting. Not pressing charges? No. I spoke up. They didn't listen. That's on them. Not warning Garrett away? Maybe. But he chose to stay. He chose to help. That's his choice. Pushing him away when I needed him most. Pause. Yeah, that one's on me. The truth landed quiet. Not dramatic. Just there. I blamed him for using me to feel redeemed, but I'm using him too. Using him as proof I'm not worth saving. If he gives up on me, I'm right. I'm unsavable. If I push him away, I don't have to risk... What? Love? Help? Being wrong about myself? Long pause. Stars, wheeling overhead, earth turning, time passing. That's the real cowardice. Not the assault, not the trial, not even the shame. This, right now, sitting here, alone, safe. The word echoed, safe. Safety isn't living. It's just slower dying. She stood up, sudden. Decision crystallizing like ice forming on water. I need to tell him, before I lose the nerve. Before he gives up. Before this thing between us, whatever it is, dies because I was too scared to let it live. Morning came, 5:30 a.m. She didn't sleep, just waited. Watched the window. Watched the sky lighten from black to navy to purple to pink. 6:15 a.m. His truck appeared on schedule. Rattle, announcing him, slowing near the cafe. This time, she stood up, walked to the door, opened it, stepped outside onto the sidewalk, visible, intentional. He saw her, truck slowed more, almost stopped. They stared at each other across 50 feet of empty street, sunrise behind him, shadows long. Air cool and clean, neither moved for 5 seconds. 10, 15, he opened the truck door, halfway. Not all the way, not a commitment, just possibility. She took one step forward, off the curb, into the street. Sheriff's Crown Victoria pulled up between them. Fast, deliberate, blocking the sightline. Sheriff got out, full uniform, smiling. Morning, Garrett, Grace. The moment shattered. Garrett looked at Grace, at the sheriff, back at Grace. Closed the truck door, drove away. Grace stood in the street, sheriff watching her, smiling. You need something, miss? No. Better get out of the road then. Dangerous place to stand. She walked back to the sidewalk. Up the stairs, inside, closed the door, sat on the mattress, stared at her hands, clean, healed, still. But he saw me. I stepped out. I chose. I took one step forward. He opened the door. The decision was made. Sheriff can't stop that. Not really. Can delay it. Can interrupt it. But the decision was made. She looked at the window. Morning light filling the room. Tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. And the day after. And the day after. Until he hears me. Until I can say it out loud. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I need you. I'm scared. Help me. The words she couldn't say yet, but would, eventually. If she kept choosing to step outside. If she kept choosing life over safety. If she kept choosing to be seen. She went downstairs, started work. Rosa looked at her. You okay, mija? No. But you will be? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Rosa smiled, handed her an apron. Good enough. Table 4 needs coffee. Grace tied the apron, picked up the pot, walked to table 4. Old man Harry. Newspaper, crossword. Same as every day. Morning, miss. Morning, Harry. Poured coffee, hands steady. Survived. Outside, 8 miles away, Garrett sat in his truck at the ranch gate. Hadn't driven through yet. Just sat there. Engine idling, lighter in his hand. Didn't flick it, just held it. She'd stepped outside. She'd stepped toward him. That meant something. That meant everything. But the sheriff had blocked it. Would keep blocking it, would keep escalating until what? Until I do something about it. Until I stop letting him control this. Until I stop letting fear of failing again keep me from trying again. He looked at the lighter. Old habit, old comfort. Started to flick it, stopped, put it in the glove box, closed it, started the truck moving, drove through the gate, parked at the house, got out, stood on the porch, looked at the empty guest room window. She's not coming here. Not yet. Maybe not ever. So I go to her. Tomorrow, I go to her. No more driving past. No more slowing down and moving on. I stop. I get out. I talk to her. Even if the sheriff's there. Even if the whole damn town's watching. I stop running from failing her the way I failed Elena. Because Rosa was right. I didn't fail Elena. The aneurysm did. But I'll fail Grace if I don't try. He went inside. Looked at Elena's photo on the mantle. Face up now. First time in 8 years. Beautiful. Smiling. Gone. I'm sorry I wasn't there. He said to the photo. To the memory. To the ghost. But I'm here now. For someone else. And I think you'd understand. The photo didn't answer. Of course not. But the guilt, the 8-year weight that had been crushing his chest, lifted. Just slightly. Just enough to breathe a little deeper. Forgiveness didn't come from Elena's ghost. It came from him finally forgiving himself. Not completely, not fully, but enough to try again, tomorrow. He'd try tomorrow. The sheriff came for her with a warrant he didn't have, and Garrett came for the sheriff with nothing but his grandfather's belt buckle and 8 years of guilt, finally finding its target. Early October. Evening, 6:47 p.m. Sky gone purple-black. Not night yet, worse than night. Storm building. Lightning distant. Thunder rolling in from the west like artillery. Wind picking up. Temperature dropped 15 degrees in an hour, down to 68. Grace wiped down tables in Rosa's cafe. Last customer left 10 minutes ago. Rosa sweeping near the kitchen. Radio playing low. Weather alert scrolling across the AM band. Storm's coming. Rosa looked up. About time. We need the rain. Yeah. Grace felt it in her bones. Pressure change. Something breaking open. In the sky. In her chest. Couldn't tell which. Sheriff's Crown Victoria pulled up outside. Rosa stopped sweeping. Mija, go upstairs. What? Why? Just go, now. Grace set down the rag. Sheriff walked in. 2 deputies behind him. Young guys. Early 20s. Nervous. Hands on their belts, but not on weapons. Not yet. Evening, Rosa. Grace. Rosa stepped between. Short Mexican woman in an apron facing down county law. What do you want, Dale? Official business. Need to speak with Grace. Grace came forward. I'm here. Sheriff smiled. Professional. Cold. Got a call from Tucson PD. Seems there's a warrant out. For what? Failure to appear. Court date you missed. I didn't miss any. According to them, you did. So I'm gonna need you to come with me. Just down to the station. Sort it out. Shouldn't take long. Rosa's voice cut sharp. Show me the warrant. Don't need to show you anything. Then you're not taking her. Sheriff's smile widened. Dangerous. You want to be arrested for obstruction? That what you want? Rosa, lose your business license? Health inspector might find all kinds of violations next time he comes through. Rosa went pale, but held her ground. Outside, truck engine, familiar rattle, broken muffler. Garrett's F-150 pulled up beside the Crown Vic. Both engines running, power and patience, law and something else. He walked in, took in the scene immediate. Sheriff, deputies. Rosa, between them and Grace, threat clear. What's going on? None of your business, McCrae. Grace, you okay? Grace nodded. Couldn't speak. Throat tight. Garrett looked at the sheriff. Show me the warrant. I don't have to. Then you ain't taking her. You want to join Rosa in a cell? 'Cause I got room. I want to see the warrant you say you have. That's not unreasonable. That's the law. Sheriff's jaw clenched. Deputies shifted, uncomfortable. They knew, everyone knew, there was no warrant. I'm trying to do this easy, Sheriff said, voice lower. Threat clearer. You're making it hard. You're threatening an innocent woman with false charges. I'm making you follow procedure. That ain't hard, that's just right. The cafe door opened. Customers coming back. Harry the old man, Pete, Jim, Tom Hansen's wife, 4 others. Word spread fast in small towns. Something happening at Rosa's. They came to watch. Sheriff saw them. Witnesses gathering, his power play falling apart. Garrett, I'm warning you. Warn all you want. You got no warrant, you got no cause. You got nothing but a grudge and a badge you think makes you right. Sheriff stepped closer to Garrett, face red, control slipping. You got no legal ground here. Neither do you. I'm the law. You're a bully with a badge. Sheriff's face went from red to white. Careful. I've been careful. For 8 years. Stayed quiet when you buried my wife's case without investigating. Stayed quiet when you let Ron Pritchard walk free after what he did to your daughter. Stayed quiet through all your keeping the peace. That looks a hell of a lot like keeping secrets. The cafe went silent. Everyone heard it. Ron Pritchard, the sheriff's brother, his daughter. The note she left. Sheriff lunged, grabbed Garrett by the shirt, 2 fists bunched in fabric, shoved him back against the counter. Garrett didn't fight back. This was crucial. This was everything. He could have. He was bigger, stronger, younger by 5 years. Could have dropped the sheriff with 1 punch. Didn't, just stood there. Let the sheriff hold him, let the violence show itself for what it was. You say one more word. Or what? You'll arrest me for telling the truth? Garrett's voice stayed calm, level. Go ahead. Whole town's watching now. And they were. 8 people in the cafe, more outside. Phones would be ringing by morning. By tomorrow, everyone in Redemption would know. Sheriff realized it. Looked around, saw the witnesses, saw Rosa recording on her phone, saw his deputies, stepping back, hands off their belts, distancing themselves. He let go of Garrett. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Garrett straightened his shirt. Grace stays, you leave. And if you come back without a real warrant, not some bullshit story about Tucson PD, I'll make sure every person in this county knows why your daughter left, why she never came back, why you burned her note instead of protecting her. Sheriff's face crumbled, just for a second. Pain underneath the authority, then hardened again. You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's mine to make. Sheriff looked at Grace, then at Rosa, then at the crowd, knew he'd lost. Walked out. Deputies followed. Crown Vic started, drove away fast. Angry, silence in the cafe after. Grace stared at Garrett, couldn't process what just happened. Rosa lowered her phone. Dios mío. Harry the old man spoke from his booth. About damn time somebody stood up to him. Murmurs of agreement. Not everyone, but enough. Grace found her voice. You didn't have to. Yeah, I did. He'll come back. Let him. He does it again. We'll have this on record. Garrett nodded at Rosa's phone. And next time he comes, he better have real cause. Rosa walked over to Grace, hugged her. You need somewhere safer than here, both of you. Garrett looked at Grace. Really looked. Come to the ranch. He won't follow you there. Private property. And I got witnesses now. Gestured at the cafe. Half the town just saw what he tried to do. I can't. You can. Guest room. No strings, just safe. Grace looked at Rosa. Rosa nodded. Go, mija. I'll be fine. He won't touch me. Too public now. Grace looked back at Garrett, at the man who'd just risked everything. Career, reputation, safety for her. Why? After everything I said? Because I wasn't there when Elena needed me. His voice steady, clear. But I'm here now, and I'm not freezing this time. Saving her saved himself. Redemptive act completed. Outside, the storm broke. First rain in 90 days, heavy drops, big as nickels, hitting the asphalt hard enough to bounce. Lightning close. Thunder immediate. Wind sideways. They ran to his truck, getting soaked in 10 seconds. 20 yards felt like swimming. Climbed in. Slammed doors. Rain hammering the roof. Windshield instant river. Wipers couldn't keep up. He started the engine. Didn't drive yet. Just sat there. Both of them breathing hard. Wet. Laughing a little. Relief. Fear. Something else. Grace looked at him. Profile and dashboard light. Rain and shadow. He was crying. Silent tears just running down his face. Not wiping them. Not hiding. She reached over. Touched his hand on the steering wheel. First intentional physical contact. Skin on skin. Her fingers on his knuckles. Light. Careful. Permission asked and given without words. He didn't pull away. Turned his hand over. palm up. She laid her hand in his. They sat there, holding hands, rain pounding, lightning flashing, world washing clean outside. "I'm sorry," she said, "for what I said. About redemption, about using me. You weren't wrong. I wasn't right either." He looked at her, smiled through tears. "Close enough," she laughed. First real laugh in 6 months. Small, broken, but real. "You ready?" "For what?" "To go inside, stay a while, see what happens when we stop running." She looked at their hands, hers smaller, paler, scarred but healing. His bigger, weathered, steadier than he thought. "Yeah, I think I am." He drove. Slow, wipers fighting, road slick, 8 miles to the ranch, took 20 minutes. Neither spoke, just held hands across the center console, radio off, just rain, an engine, and breathing. Pulled up to the ranch house, porch light on, yellow warm against the storm. Sat in the truck, engine off. Rain still coming down, not as hard, softer now, gentler. "It's not much," he said. "House needs work. Guest room's dusty, probably mice." "Sounds perfect." They got out, ran through rain to the porch, stood under the overhang, soaked, dripping, cold, both looking at each other, not at the door, at each other. First moment of something like peace, not love yet, not healed yet, not fixed, but alive. Together, choosing. Grace shivered. "We should, yeah." But neither moved, just stood there. First time they'd been alone together without fear, without shame, without distance. "Thank you," she said. "For what?" "For not freezing." He nodded. "Thank you." "For what?" "For stepping outside this morning." "For trying." She smiled. Small, sad, real. "We're both pretty broken, huh?" "Yeah, but maybe that's okay." "Maybe." They went inside. Morning came quiet, the way it does after storms, like the world remembered how to be gentle again. Grace woke in the guest room, disoriented, sunlight through unfamiliar curtains, smell of coffee. Distant cattle, then remembered. Ranch, storm, safety. Looked at the clock. 11:17 a.m. She'd slept. 6 hours straight, first time in months. Got up, walked to the kitchen, found him on the porch with 2 mugs, sat beside him on the steps, desert washed clean, sky impossible blue. Smell of creosote and rain, everything new. She looked at her hands, resting on her knees, healed, clean. Still, no scabs. No scabs, no fresh wounds, no compulsion to scrub. She didn't even notice when they'd stopped hurting. He noticed her noticing. Healings like that happens when you're not looking. Small smile. They watched sunrise finish. 3 minutes of silence. Comfortable now. "I need to tell you something." He waited. "That night, when it happened, I did fight back. Not with fists, not the way everyone wanted me to, but I fought by surviving. By not disappearing. By choosing to keep breathing when everything in me wanted to stop." "I know." "When you do?" "Yeah, I've been fighting the same way. For 8 years. Just surviving. Until I met you." She looked at him. "You reminded me there's a difference between surviving and living." Long pause. Birds, wind, breath. "You fought enough?" His voice quiet. "Sure. Now you just gotta live." Sacred silence. 15 seconds, maybe more. She exhaled. First real breath in 6 months. "Okay." Camera pulled back. 2 people on porch steps, horizon expanding, his lighter on the railing between them. Neither touched it, didn't need it anymore. The rain had washed the desert clean, and for the first time in longer than either could remember, the silence didn't hurt,